Beside the Palm, Season 2, Episode 3.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Episode 3. Today we have our wonderful BB Bamberg with us. BB is our accompanist for Pure Sound and teach at Bridges, and you're also the former Associate Director of Music and Fine Arts at St. Luke's, so welcome.
Thank you. It's my turn. I'm so excited.
I didn't realize you were sitting at your keyboard. I love it. So we always start with, tell us a little bit of your history with St. Luke's, how long you are, or you're still working there, just not in your full-time capacity. So how long you've been at St. Luke's and how you came to be here.
Well, I came to be at St. Luke's in June of 2000. So been there 20 years. I had worked at 5 other churches in over a period of about, I was thinking today, about 48 years. That's a long time. 4 of them Southern Baptist churches, because I was married to a Southern Baptist for 20 years. But came back to Houston to work at First Methodist for 10 years. And then Sid called one day and said, would you consider talking to me? And I was thrilled, but I couldn't believe that they would need anybody with my gifts or skill set, because they had Rob and, they had Sid and they had lots of other talented people, but it all worked out and the rest is history. And it's been the best ever.
Yeah. Were you in your previous churches, were you in similar positions to like you when you were Associate Director at St. Luke's? Or
my title at First Methodist was Associate Director, but I was really over children's choirs, did all the playing, and then was the follow-up to the director. We had an administrative assistant, and that's kind of what scared me about this job, was that I had never been particularly wonderful as an administrative assistant, and so, but he took me on anyway, and I learned a lot. I actually figured, and I told Jim this, I said that they are not going to want me when they see how little I can do on the computer. They're going to reassign me or fire me in 6 months, so just don't expect great things. But I learned a lot.
Funny. Yeah. And it's a big job at St. Luke's. I just, I see it all from behind the scenes now with Grace, and you do a lot.
It's a big umbrella. And of course, it's gotten bigger over the years. It was not that big when I started.
Right.
But they had just added Saint-Saëns choir. And that's one of the reasons he wanted somebody like me. They needed somebody to play for that choir, as well as Pure Sound. And then, Bridges Academy came along, and I was happy to teach for Bridges, but that wasn't really a part of my job per se. But it's really grown, and there's enough for everybody to stay busy and do.
Oh, yeah, and we do. In addition to all that, you had a bit of an accompanying career, didn't you?
Yeah, I have. And that has really been my primary passion. I've done solo work, done recital work, concerts, and kind of thing. But really, I love the teamwork and the give and take of working with a good singer or a good instrumentalist. That's really what gives me joy.
Yeah.
So playing for these choirs is just the best.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite memories or concerts at St. Luke's that you've been a part of?
There are several. Well, of course, all the Christmas festivals are wonderful. But I remember particularly two times. One time, Rob and I did dueling pianos on Carnival of the Animals, and that was great fun. We worked really hard on that. Another time, well, it was the first anniversary of 911, and we did a very early morning concert, and Sid asked me to play the second movement from the Shostakovich Second Piano Concerto. I'd never heard it, and it's one of my favorites to this day, and that was a real highlight. But just week to week, playing for Pure Sound and playing for St. Cecilia, and then getting to play for wonderful soloists, of which we have an embarrassing number. That's what fuels me.
Yeah, we do. It's funny you mentioned that 9/11 memorial concert, because probably in the last 2 weeks, Sid sent me a recording of that second movement and said, you have to listen. Yeah, he said, you have to listen to this. He said, we did this he told me about the concert and said that you played, and it was beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, it was so beautiful. And it was so hard. Mm-hmm. It was the opening piece in that concert, and he apologized to me for the fact that it was going to incite tears, because it's a very moving piece. But I was so glad to learn it.
Yeah, it's so cool if there's opportunity for stuff like that at St. Luke's.
Oh yeah.
Kind of continuing along with the music, a little birdie told me that you may have had a role in your high school marching band. Is that true?
My high school marching band, I played flute and bassoon and concert band. I was actually a majorette in the 10th grade. Believe it or not, I was actually thin enough to twirl a fire baton. It scared me to death, but I did it.
I won't tell you what little birdie told me that, but you can probably figure it out.
I can figure it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there any pictures of that? We would love to post that.
Not that are available to the public, no.
See if I can do some digging. Find some other little birdies maybe willing to help.
Good luck.
So in addition to playing and marching band, you're also an excellent chef, and baker, which I have been very fortunate to experience that.
Well, that's high praise from you, because you're an ex-baker.
I know, it's so funny. We have such, you say we have such a wealth of great soloists and singers, but we have a great little baking team too at St. Luke's.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Do you have any favorite things that you like making, or a signature dish?
Well, I think what everybody equates with me is my shortbread, which is the easiest thing with 4 ingredients on the planet, but I really love cooking for others, meals. And I love cooking Italian, and I love cooking provincial French. About the only thing I don't cook really is Asian, because we've got so many great Asian places to get takeout that I'm too lazy to learn it. And I actually gave my wok to my child, so there you go. But no, I just love to cook.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Phoebe and I live across the street from each other. We should just do this on, you could have gone out in your balcony. I could have yelled.
It's too wet out there today.
Well, it's actually really nice. The rain's cooled things down, and I have a little fan here. This is not a natural breeze in the palm.
Good.
So that's keeping me cool too. What was that delicious dish you made when you had us over for dinner? Probably last year at this point. It was that pasta with meatballs. It was like a casserole.
Oh, it was that conchiglia manati. It was it's those giant pasta shells stuffed with 3 cheeses and all kinds of nonsense, and then a bolognese sauce with meatballs, and then not a little cheese. Yeah.
I still have dreams about that meal.
That's a really good thing to make. It's kind of labor intensive, but if you're making it for friends, it's great. So I'll make it again. You can come back over.
Oh, pups. Yeah, we still dream about that. That whole meal was delicious. You had that salad and then the dessert with the ice cream that you pour the bourbon over. I can't remember.
Affogato. But Grace brought the salad. The salad was Grace, and it was wonderful.
Well, was there something else you made? I thought there was something else that you made. Was there craisins or something in it? Or am I making that up? I could be making that up.
I did do it. That may have been the chicken soup night. I did a chopped salad with craisins then.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. we could talk about food all day, but we won't do that.
Yeah, we could.
But since we're talking about favorite dishes, what are your 5 favorite things these days?
My 5 favorite things, I actually made a list because I was afraid I'd forget. A lot of people know this, but probably more don't, that the Friday before the quarantine shut everything down, I agreed to foster this little 10-pound dog that was healing from abuse at a puppy mill. And she'd had 2 surgeries and she needed a quiet place to heal. And so I agreed to foster her, and I went and got her. And before I left, I signed adoption papers because I just knew I couldn't let her go. So I'm a great foster fail. So Ginger is number 1 on the list. She's been the best companion all through this COVID time. And she and Penny are great friends.
Yeah.
They like to see each other. And they need to get a play date pretty soon.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is my church. It's how we've somehow managed to stay connected to St. Luke's and to the family. And I give the staff great credit for that. I'm just part-time there now. I retired 2 years ago, but they have managed to be creative and find ways to keep us all connected and together. So many classes and Sunday live stream and all of that. And that takes a tremendous amount of work. I think it actually takes more work than operating the church in a normal fashion day to day. And then number 3, family and friends. You know, it's great. I FaceTime with my grandchildren in Chicago, and a lot of time to visit, to text and call and check on friends. And it's been great. And I've had a great support network with close friends who have been there for me. Recently, I had a scare and was in the hospital, and one friend came over and got Ginger, and another friend came and picked me up and took me home. And, you know, what we do with our friends, and those are both St. Luke's friends. Mm-hmm. And then number 4 is that I have had, and this kind of goes with the family and friends, I've had time to reconnect with a best friend for over 40 years. His name is Marvin. And many times we will celebrate Christmas in March, or our birthdays, which are a week apart, we'll celebrate in the fall because we've been so busy that we haven't had time to get together. Well, we've started meeting once a week. And at first we were meeting in a Chinese restaurant's parking lot and just talking across the cars while he waited for a to-go order. But now we've decided to include each other in our bubbles because we're being really careful. And reconnecting with him and spending quality time with him has been just amazingly wonderful. And then the last thing is just, I think, what everybody's experiencing, time to read and binge watch movies and rest, you know, and to really sleep. And if I want to get in bed at 7:30 and watch TV till I croak, I've got Ginger right there beside me, and it's all good. So those are my 5 things.
Those are great. Marvin may or may not be the little birdie that told me the marching band thing.
I think he is.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
He I think is possibly, there might be a tie, but he's one of, I think, beside the Palms, #1 fans. He always texts me every Saturday right after he's watched it. He just loves it. So I know he's going to be.
Yeah, he's at the office today, and he said, let me know how it goes. He said, Jim usually sends me a preview, so I'll be seeing a preview. And I said, not before I do. So.
Yeah. And it's funny, I was thinking, you know, if you were still at the church, you'd be having to put these videos together.
Well, I'm glad I'm not, because Grace has a lot more techno savvy than I did. Sid can attest to that.
You learned all the other administrative stuff. You could have learned this easily, I'm sure.
I could have learned it eventually.
It can't be any harder than playing the Shostakovich piano concerto. So.
Oh, for me it is. For me, to me, you know, I don't know. I bet you feel the same way. For me, I have felt almost like a fraud all my career because I have enjoyed doing what I do so much. I feel like I should be doing it for free. It's like my work is my play. And so I love that. But the techno stuff, not so much. Yeah,
we've all had to learn a little more about that. I mean, I've just been editing videos, just like having to figure out how to do all that. So
that stuff Ryan and Randy are doing, I could never do that.
Yeah, neither could I. That takes a lot of work. Yes. But kind of jumping on your last favorite thing of just having time. I mean, I think I know I definitely feel that way. Our sleep schedule is so off right now. We don't go to bed till midnight, 1 o'clock anymore. We get up at
Me too.
8:30, 9 o'clock. But it's nice because you work throughout the day, but I mean, you end up working later now. We're still, we're like, oh, well, I'll send that email tonight. And then it's like 10:30 and like, okay, I need to send that email. But now that you are retired from full time, you probably had a little taste of that before we did. What are some of your favorite hobbies now, and kind of how do you spend your free time these days?
I think the nicest thing is that Ginger likes to sleep late like me. And so the dog I had before, Gracie, had me up at 6:30 regardless. She didn't care if it was Saturday, Ginger will stay in bed as long as I will. And lately about 7:30, she'll get right in my face and look at me, and I'll wake up, and see this little thing staring at me. And I'll say, let's go outside. And we take long walks. We'll take long walks. And that's a real joy. That's one thing I do. I'm doing more reading. I have reorganized the entire apartment, all the closets and everything. And now after this 4 months, I'm thinking I probably should go around and do it again, donating stuff and minimizing. One project that I haven't tackled yet, and I'm getting ready to, is that when I was reorganizing everything, I had a Marie Kondo moment. Oh gosh. And I totally revamped everything I had in the way of pictures, family pictures and stuff. I took them all out of their frames, put them in a box, and donated the frames to my grandson and his wife, who were in their first house, and she wanted to do a picture wall. So took them up to Fort Worth and gave them to them. And I need to get those pictures in an album. Now I've got the album and I've got the pictures. Now I've just got to get the momentum to do it,
Yeah.
So that's my next project.
Yeah. Well, if you're still in the organizing mood, Grace just came home from the Container Store a day or two ago with probably 15 organizers for our pantry, because we have these long, deep pantries. You might have similar ones.
Yeah, very long indeed.
Yeah, and things just get lost back there. So we bought a bunch of things that we can pull out. So
I need to come look at that when you get it in, because I really have thought about doing that.
Yeah. Well, maybe she can come do yours.
Well, the only good thing about my pantry is my spices. I've got the Penzies Grotto, as Sid calls it, this one double thing, and they're all alphabetized and everything. They're easy to find, but when you open the pantry doors, it's like the gaping maw. It's just everything is crazy, and I need to get in there and reorganize it. I've already reorganized that maybe twice. Yeah. But it needs it again.
Yeah. It's amazing how quickly that all kind of goes. But speaking of quickly, we have arrived at our rapid fire round.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to get my timer here set for 1 minute. I have my list of questions ready to go. Now, just so you remember, no one has gotten past 19 yet. So this could be your day. You never know. Are you ready?
I hope. I'll do my best. Yes.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1. Tex-Mex or Chinese?
Tex-Mex.
In your tea, milk or lemon?
Milk.
Rachmaninoff or Prokofiev?
Rachmaninoff.
Pacific or Atlantic Ocean?
Atlantic.
Soup or salad?
Soup.
Phone calls or texts?
Text.
What color is your toothbrush?
White.
Last thing you ate?
Shepherd's pie.
Bourbon or gin?
Gin.
How Great Thou Art or Amazing Grace?
How Great Thou Art.
Flour or corn tortillas?
Corn.
Band or orchestra?
Orchestra.
Do you enjoy road trips?
Yes.
Have you ever slapped someone in the face?
Yes.
Favorite junk food?
Tacos.
Say, bless his heart with a southern drawl.
Yes.
No, say it.
Bless his heart.
How many hours of sleep do you? Oh, you did good.
How many did I get?
Not 20.
Oh.
Maybe 15 or so. I don't have them numbered. I just go down the list. That was pretty good. So we always end, I'm sure you thought about this too, with what is one piece of music or song or whatever that you would recommend our listeners go listen to after this interview?
Well, being a musician, that's a hard question. And I thought about it last night, and I thought of two things, and I've got to give you both because people can choose. These are things that have meant a lot to me during this time. The first, both of these are on YouTube. The first is a duet by Jessye Norman and Kathleen Battle of He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. It'll make you cry. The second one is Concerto, Songs of Connection. And Craig Heller Johnson speaks and says some very inspirational things and then sings several songs that are supposed to connect us during this time. Both of those are great.
Awesome. Well, if they're on YouTube, I know Grace will track them down and we'll include them. So
Yeah, they're
awesome.
on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, Bibi, thanks so much for taking time to talk to us today. It was nice to see you.
Nice
Even though
to
you're
see
right
you.
across the street, so I kind of see you
I know.
more
I'm
frequently
gonna
than
go
I'd
wave.
like.
I'm going to go wave out the balcony now.
Yeah.
You looking.
Well, you go out there
Thank
with
you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So you take care, and we'll see you soon. All right.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.